Today we discuss cellular concepts. Cellular concepts. So why we go for cell-based system? So before that we just see. So the mobile communication in a short view is like this. So there will be a base station. So a set of users will be associating with this base station in a wireless manner. So through wireless link they will be connected to this base station. So a set of users like this, and the rest of the communication. So this user will be communicating his messages through wireless channel to this base station, and similarly like this, and the rest of the communication and from base station to the other base station and or other means of communication happens through wired channels or some optical cable or some fixed RF links. But the mobility we are providing, the mobile communication, the mobility here only with this mobile and this base station, and rest of the entire network. So if he makes call to another user through which is connected to another base station, so wireless means this mobile connection between this mobile and this base station, this is only wireless, and rest of the part of the communication will be a wired communication. So there will not be any mobility. And like this base station is supporting a multiple number of users. So it will have a link between this base station and this user. Say user 1. Similarly, user 2. Simultaneously, they might be in connection with the base station. Say user 4. Say user 3, like this. So now what happens is this base station, so they are transmitting messages wireless manner. So the messages need to be modulated and they have to be before radiating. So different they should not be interfere each other. So what base station does is basically if it is a frequency duplex system, or if it is FDMA system, which is called as frequency division multiple access. Frequency division multiple access. So different users will access the system with different frequencies. If that is so, the system is called as frequency division multiple access. How different users are accessing the system with different frequencies, means different carrier frequencies. This might be using carrier frequency F1, and this may be using F2 and F3 and F4. Means here there may be a possibility that because there are two links, one is uplink and downlink. Uplink means from user to base station, downlink means from base station to user. So both the links should have two carriers, so a pair of carriers. So only this pair of carriers are different for the pair of the carriers of this one. This way they can avoid interference between each other. They don't interfere each other, and they simultaneously accessing the system, is accessing the base station. They get whatever data required. It may be call, or it may be downloading some data or uploading some data. And similarly, there is another kind of system called as TDMA, time division multiple access. Time division multiple access. So here not frequencies will be allotted, they will be allotted what? A time slot. It means user 1 will transmit in a designated time slot, and all the rest of the users during this T1 they will be silent, they will not be transmitting or receiving anything. Similarly, user 2 will be allocated with time slot 2, and during T2 similarly all the other will be silent. So like this a time, so there may be a time frame. So first user 1 will be transmitting and no other will be transmitting. The next user 2 will be transmitting and user 3 will be transmitting, user 4 will be transmitting, and when all of them are over, then again what? User 1 may be transmitting and again user 2 may be transmitting. Like this it continues in the system called as what? Time division, TDMA system. So they access the system, different users access the system in time division fashion in TDMA, and one set of all is say U1 to say U4, whatever is there, this is called as time frame. So in a time frame, in a time frame, all users data will be there and within different time slots. Of course, for each time frame there will be some preamble and some other synchronization bits. They are different now to discuss, but this is the way for what? TDMA systems. So so there may be FDMA or TDMA, and now there is one more system is called as CDMA. Before that, I'll just tell you there is a combination that is possible always, that is FDMA plus TDMA system. So it is also possible what? You can combine these two multiple access methods to get a new system. So new multiple access. So that is what? FDMA plus TDMA. You are combining these two methods. How you are combining is, maybe you have different carriers and each carrier may be shared in time division fashion among different number of users. For example, user 1 allocated carrier 1 but time slot 1 also, and user 2 may be also allocated carrier 1 but time slot is different. Now these two will not be interfered. So now what we are doing is effectively the carrier 1 is we are sharing between two users, and they will not transmit simultaneously but they transmit in a sequential manner or time division manner, right? So the best example is here is for this one is GSM system, global system for mobile communication. So GSM system, which is 2G, we have extensively used before 4G. The GSM system. In GSM system, what happens is, so there will be around 125 carrier frequencies, 125 carriers available, and each carrier will be shared among 8 number of users. So we have how many carriers? 125 carriers. How many time slots? 8 time slots. So how many users this system can support? So I am talking about GSM 900. Similarly, there is GSM 1800 also, means the band is here around 900 megahertz. 1800 GSM means it will be around, allocated around 800 megahertz. So 8 time slots. So how many users it can be supported is, Simultaneously, you can support 125 because each carrier is shared among how many users? 8 users. So you can support how many users? 1000 users you can support simultaneously, right? And of course, these 125 carriers not just they are full duplex carriers, means that they are nothing but a pair of carriers. So one for uplink, another for downlink. So if you are allocating a carrier to a user, means you have to also allocate uplink and downlink, right? So how many users it can support? 1000 users it can support. That is what GSM. So this is example of what combination of FDMA and TDMA. There is another system is called as CDMA system. CDMA, which is called as code division multiple access. Code division multiple access. Here different users will be allocated with different users will be allocated with different orthogonal codes. So their data will be multiplied with orthogonal codes, so that because they are orthogonal codes, if this base station want to extract the data from U1, what it will do is, so it will multiply C1 to this data. Then because these codes are orthogonal, C1 square will be 1 only. So it will extract the U1 data. But C1 into C2 will be 0, and similarly C1 into C3 will be 0. C1 into C4 will be 0. So all the other three data will be eliminated. In a very rough way we are discussing it. Their detailed thing we'll discuss later. And similarly, if the base station want to extract data from user 2, it will multiply the received signal with C2, and the multiplication with C2 will makes null for U1 data and U3 data and U4 data. So this way different users can access the system simultaneously by using what? Orthogonal code. So that's why it's called as what? Code division multiple access, right? CDMA, right? So here the multiple access methods means how right, how different users can access the system. So that is what multiple access methods. Right. So we are now talking about just a brief introduction of GSM architecture, so that you will understand the cellular architecture. Here the entire cover is, say for example, this is the some area of some city where you need to provide some coverage, means you need to provide service, cellular service. Then what they do in GSM is, so multiple base stations they install. More or less all other systems also same, and these base stations will be connected to some BSC, and there will be multiple BSCs will be connected to. So BSC means base station controller. BSC means base station controller. I'll repeat this diagram again here. So in GSM or any cellular system, it will be like this. The entire zone will be entire zone of some area will be covered with multiple base stations, so that each base station will have some geographic area like this. And these base stations will be associated to some base station controller, and similarly these two, say for example these two are associated to. Likewise, there will be not just two under one BSC, there will be several BSCs. Under a BSC, there will be several base stations. And these several BSCs will be connected to MSC, which is called as main switching center. It's called as mobile switching center. And this MSC will be connected to further to a GMSC, gateway of MSC, and from here it will be connected to the other outside networks. So another network GMSC will be connected to this GMSC like this. If you are making a local call, maybe within the same base station also, the call, so if they are user like this. If this user is want to talk with this user 2, he'll make, so both signals go to this base station, and it will go to BSC and it will go to MSC. MSC will locate the next user and through BSC, and it diverts the call to user 2, right? And similarly, if user 2 is located here, so if user 1 is calling user 3, then it goes here, and again what, it diverts the call to user 3 like this. If it is other service provider, so through GMSC it will be connected to another GMSC, and it will go to MSC again, and in that another network, say for example you are calling from BSNL to say Airtel, it will go from MSC and GMSC to Airtel GMSC, and from there it will go and it will locate the called person. So now here where the wireless communication exists is only here, where user and base station. Only this part is wireless communication. All the rest of the operation function are not mobile communication. They can be realized with these all are backhaul. So backhaul communication, all of them are what? These are wires only, or some optical cable, or some fixed RF links. So some RF towers may be aligned together and they are not movable. So something like this. So what we are studying in this course is only mainly what? Between user and this base station. So because of this communication, it may create some interference to the other base station, something like this. So those things we are going to address in this course. So mobile communication means we are only studying between the user and the base station. Okay, coming back to again just introduction for GSM, bands. The frequency bands of GSM is, so we have discussed there will be an uplink for GSM. Uplink band is, so 890 to 915 megahertz, and similar downlink is 935 to 960 megahertz. So here the total bandwidth is 25 megahertz, and here also the total bandwidth is 25 megahertz. And so the full duplex means both uplink and downlink bandwidth is full duplex bandwidth is 25 megahertz only, because it tells us, it is implicit that if its bandwidth is 25 megahertz means it contains both uplink 25 megahertz and downlink 25 megahertz. And each carrier bandwidth is carrier bandwidth. The carrier bandwidth is 200 kilohertz. Or you can also say each carrier RF bandwidth, you can also attach here. RF bandwidth is 200 kilohertz. Means the baseband signal, your voice or something, maybe in few kilohertz, but after modulating, the bandwidth of the bandpass waveforms will be of 200 kilohertz. It means we have 25 megahertz bandwidth. How many carriers one can have in GSM is the number of carriers is equal to, so the number of carriers is equal to 25 each carrier bandwidth how much? 200 kilohertz. So it will be nothing but what? 125 carriers. So 25 megahertz divided by 200 kilohertz, you can get what? So each carrier bandwidth is 200 kilohertz. So if you are allocating a carrier to a user means you are allocating how much bandwidth? 200 kilohertz bandwidth to that particular full duplex bandwidth. Means in uplink there will be 200 kilohertz and downlink there will be a 200 kilohertz bandwidth. So 125. And we already discussed what each carrier can be shared amongst 8 users. So it will be 125 into 8. We call now is not carriers now, we call this quantity as channels. So each user we have to assign some channel. Channel means is a way to is a way for communication. So a channel means here is nothing but a combination of carrier, a combination of uplink and downlink carrier as well as the time slot in the GSM system. Similarly, the channel in TDM system is only a time slot, and and also time a channel in CDM system is nothing but code. So it is 125 carriers, and each carrier can be shared amongst 8 users. So how many channels that GSM 900 can contain is 1000 channels, so that it can accommodate 1000 users simultaneously. So here one can so here one can increase the number of channels, or you can increase the number of users, simultaneous number of users, by using some techniques called as frequency reuse. Frequency reuse. So we have discussed what there will be multiple base stations in the cellular system, right? There will be multiple base stations. So something like I'm showing like this. Some say there is a base station whose coverage is, I'm approximating a circle like this, and there will be another base station whose coverage is, I'm again what showing a circle. So there is a base station, and say we are drawing top view. So there is a base station and its coverage is, because we are using omnidirectional antennas, so which radiates equally in all directions, so that it's the geographic area where which it covers, where it is providing coverage is what you can have a circular shape like this for discussion's sake. So there will be number of base stations covering a big area, a large city or something. Basically their coverage area is what of the coverage zone is of circular shape, but if I take the coverage zone of a base station, coverage zone of a base station is called as cell. So if I take cell shape as circle, then in my analysis there will be gaps. So I should not take actually circle, but I have to approximate the coverage zone. So what I choose is the shape is called as hexagon. If I take hexagon to show the cellular system, means cellular means cells, then it will not leave any gaps here because it is having a tessellate structure. It will not leave any gaps. So our analysis will be what? Will be accurate. Means the analysis are modeling the entire area of the what with hexagons. So hexagon is what is the closest approximation for a circle, as well as it will not leave. You can also choose what triangle or square, but it is not as close as what a circle compared to hexagon. So we are going to choose what hexagon for a cell shape. A cell means nothing but a certain geographic area which is covered by a base station. So I am showing dot at center, means at the center of the cell there will be a base station, something like this. So we just now see the hexagon properties. Then so for this today, that is hexagon means it will be having 6 sides. And the angle between two sides will be 60 degrees. And the radius of the hexagon is also called as is also called as cell radius. Cell radius. So the radius of that circle is also r only. So r is what? Cell radius. So each side length of the so there are 6 sides. The side length is also what? Radius only. So side length is also as same as r in the hexagon. And the distance between the center to the side, so the angle is here 60 degrees, right? So, and the distance between the center to the side is what? Is you can find by using simple trigonometric expressions, that the distance is root 3 by 2 into r. And similarly, the distance between two adjacent base stations. So this is the neighbor base station for this one. So what is the distance between these two? Is from distance from this point to this side is root 3 by 2 r. Similarly, it is also same radius. So all our hexagons are having same radius and same size. So then only we can have a structure like this. So from here to here the distance is root 3 by 2 r. And from here to here the distance will be what? Root 3 by 2 r. And total distance we call it as interside distance. Is root 3r. Interside distance means the distance between two adjacent base stations. Say if a cell radius r equal to 1 kilometer, the interside distance will be equal to 1.732 kilometer. So we discuss up to here and we continue next class.